Okay, welcome to Unit C, 7C, where we're doing unit conversions. Too many units in a row. All right, I'm going to share this guy with you. All right, and the first unit conversion that we're going to talk about is units of time. Most people are comfortable with and familiar with converting units of time. 60 seconds is a minute, 24 hours is a day, and so on and so forth. And then you get some to the more interesting conversions where, years in a millennium. We don't do those very often, but they are out there. And most of the time, you got to do this without thinking. Okay, how many seconds in a minute? 60 seconds in a minute. If I got 120 seconds, it's 2 minutes. And many of us will just do this in our head. But I want to walk you through the process manually. The thing that you're doing in your head, let's look at it on paper. The reason this is going to help you is because what you're doing is you're using something called the fraction method, and the fraction method of conversion works for everything. So if you're a nursing student or a veterinary student or any kind of a science student or any kind of an art student, any kind of an engineering student, all of these kinds of things, any kind of humanities students, you're going to be asked to do conversions, and the fraction method works for everything. So let's say we have 380 seconds, and I want to convert that to minutes. Okay, how do I convert that to minutes? Well, let's start with making it a fraction. Anything can be made a fraction, put it over 1. And now I have 380 seconds over 1. I'm going to convert that by comparing it against another fraction. What is that other fraction? I don't know yet, but I'm going to draw my little fraction line there and figure it out in a minute. Well, what do I want to do? I want to convert seconds to minutes. And if I want to cancel out seconds, I've got a seconds here on the top. I'm going to need a seconds down here on the bottom. That means my other fraction is going to look like it's going to have seconds on the bottom. It's going to have minutes on the top. And I'm letting these units determine my direction. Many people want to write, 1 minute first. No. I'm writing in my labels and leaving me some space for what numbers are going to go in front of them. So since I want to cancel seconds, I'm going to write seconds on the bottom, minutes on the top. Next thing, how many minutes in a second, or how many seconds in a minute? In 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. So here's my 1 and my 60, and I just put them with the correct labels. Once I have done that, my equation is done. I don't have to worry about whether I'm multiplying or dividing, because my equation will tell me. Right across the top, 380 times 1 is 380. Right across the bottom, 1 times 60 is 60. I've canceled out seconds. I'm left with minutes. And there I have my answer. Whether it's converting from larger to smaller or smaller to larger, that's always going to work. And you can do it multiple times. So you can convert kilograms into moles, into grams, into other units, milliliters. So we can talk about dosages and things like that. You can do multiple conversions. No matter what kind of conversion you're working with, this fraction method will always, always, always work. It's a lovely thing. In most of your conversions that you're going to have, your instructor is going to provide you with a little sheet like this. It's going to show you different unit conversions for American measurements, because American measurements don't make sense. I don't mind saying that. 1 pint is 16 fluid ounces. Why? Don't know, but it is. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Why? Or 1 foot is 12 inches. Why? We have no idea. But these are the numbers that most Americans use. In the rest of the world, they don't use these. We have to have a little chart to sort of remember what these are. Metric conversions, on the other hand, metric conversions are much easier. We can use this mnemonic here. King Hector doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. You're thinking, well, what does that mean? Well, if I start with my K, K is kilo. H for Hector is hecto. Doesn't is D for deca. U for units. D for deci, C for centi, M for milli. And you can see how you can remember this little chart here. And this little chart will show you how to convert all of your metrics from one metric to another. We're multiplying or we're dividing straight across the line. Let's see it in action. Here I have kilo, hecto, deca, unit, deci, centi, milli, and I wrote this out remembering that King Hector doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And here I have 3,456.1629 centimeters, and I'm going to convert that to decameters. Why? Because the problem told me so. If you notice, from centi to deca, we have 1, 2, 3 hops to the left. That's real nice and simple. We're going to take this decimal point and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 hops to the left. 3,456 and change centimeters is 3.4561629 decameters. And we're done. Easy as pie. And now you see why the rest of the world uses this unit. That's unit conversions.